Cindy Davis Evans of The Cindy Davis Show. My guest today has done it all. She used her talents to bring people together through her music with her rich, soulful vocals and for her love for theater. She was featured in Broadway plays such as Louise, Mama, I Want to Sing, and Bubbling Brown Sugar. She has performed alongside legends such as Barbra Streisand and Stevie Wonder, as well as performed for President Bill Clinton. She was vocal coach for Whitney Houston, as well as the infamous vocal coach for American Idol. And joining me today is the legendary Miss Peggi Blu. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's such a pleasure.
It's a pleasure for me and a complete honor. I thank you.
And you're so very welcome. So very welcome.
And you're gorgeous. You so are absolutely beyond beautiful.
Oh no! Thank you. You are gorgeous. You are.
No, the hair, your hair and the color. Oh yeah, baby.
I receive it. Thank you so much. How are you doing throughout this whole pandemic?
I'm doing what we're all asked to do. I don't leave my building. Even when I go down the hall to empty the garbage, I'm masked.
Yes.
And I'm gloved.
Oh, yes.
And, oh, definitely. And I've started putting in I bought a spray bottle and I put alcohol in one and I put Clorox in one. And before I step out of my door, I spray and wait 5 minutes. And then before I step into the elevator, I spray because you don't know who went in before you. And there are people or were people in my building who have passed away from that stupid pandemic.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so I don't want to take any chances. Yeah. And so you want me to stay masked? I don't have a problem with it. Every time I put it on and I have more than one, I come in the house. Yes. I take my shoes off at the door. I don't walk in because you don't know what you're picking up.
Yes.
I wash my mask immediately and the clothes that I wear.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't want any of it. So, and maybe that sounds crazy, but with something like this, I don't think you can be too careful.
Because we don't know. They don't know all the information. They don't have all the information. So you have to kind of take it up on yourself to keep yourself safe.
I agree.
And so hopefully this whole thing will, once we get vaccines and everything, maybe this will just finally be behind us.
Well, I'm a little leery about the vaccine because that just came out and nobody knows if it'll do you any harm or not.
And that's another thing. So now we have to wait and see on that.
Yeah. I want to see how many people live after they took the vaccine and what of side effects.
Have you ever seen anything like this in your life?
No, never.
Yes.
Never. And I've been here, honey. Listen, I was when Jesus was 2. We were friends.
Oh, girl.
And we still are.
I like that. Oh my God.
I've never seen anything like this ever.
Yeah. This is this is one for the history books, that's for sure.
Yes, you're right.
History books. Let's talk a little bit about your career. You've done so much and you've accomplished so much in your lifetime and brought people together with your music, with your beautiful voice, your beautiful vocals. You just brought people together through music, through theater. Now, let's just go back to your Star Search days, okay? You were the grand champion on Star Search back in 1986. How did that change your life? How did it change your life?
Well, it got me signed to Capitol Records because one of the judges on that show was a producer.
Oh,
Wayne, and he was one of the judges that night who judged and voted that I was the winner, and he's called a meeting, called at that time it was Jake, and he called Jake and my manager and set up a meeting, and they flew me here because I'm from New York,
Oh.
and they flew me here to do this record, and my life just kept progressing, and that led me to a lot of touring and a lot of wonderfulness.
What
Yeah,
did you, I'm curious, what did you do with that 100 grand?
I used most, well, I took care of my children, first of all. I took
Mm-hmm.
care of my mother so that she wouldn't need anything. And
Amen.
then I did,
Amen.
I took, I took a lot of it and moved
Mm-hmm.
stupidly from my apartment in New York, on the East Coast here. That's why I'm here,
Uh-huh.
in California. But it worked. I bought, furniture and a car and
Oh, you could do a
took
lot.
care of my bills.
Yeah, you could do a lot with $100,000. That's a lot of money
Yeah,
right
I paid
now.
before I did anything though. I paid my tithes. I paid
Oh,
my 10% before I. That was the first thing that came out,
oh,
and I
hallelujah.
got ridiculed
Mhm.
about that from another source, but I paid no
Oh,
attention.
yes.
And I sent two checks,
Mhm.
one to my uncle's church in New York, Rose of Sharon Church
Uh,
of God in Christ, that's still there, and the
Oh,
other one to my uncle Fred Benton in North Carolina, to his church, Sandy
mm-hmm.
Grove Baptist, and that's still there too.
Amen. What a blessing you were. Oh my
That's
God.
what I did,
That's a
and I mean,
blessing.
because that's what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
You 10%.
Mm-hmm.
So I did
Yeah.
it.
That's what you did. That's what you were supposed to do. And I
Yeah.
pray God bless you for that.
And whatever I do today, when I'm paid,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing that comes out is tithes.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
let's talk about, so before Star Search though, you were in gospel singer quartets and groups. Is that correct? You only did gospel before,
Was
prior
that
to
was
Star Search?
that was way before Star Search.
Oh, okay.
That was all the way. That goes back to the '60s.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, but when I did Star Search, I was actually on Broadway. I didn't even think I could be on Star Search
Oh,
because I thought they wanted amateurs, which I was not.
I
I already had
see.
records.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I had already. I was recording already
Mm-hmm.
and had done quite a few Broadway shows.
Mm-hmm.
This one in particular, I was. It was called Marilyn: An American Fable,
Mm-hmm.
and I was playing Marilyn Monroe's alter ego, Miss Destiny. And
Really? Oh,
yeah, and when my friend said to me, I'm going, because I was doing a show,
uh-huh.
because I had my own band and I did that as well. So I
Mm-hmm.
was doing a performance
Mm-hmm.
at the Bitter End, and he said, I'm going to bring my girlfriend Gail down to see your show,
Yes.
and you're going to get on Star Search. And I was like, I can't be on Star Search because that's for amateurs. And he
Yes.
said, well, we'll see. And he brought
Yeah,
her.
I always thought it was just for amateurs as well.
Yeah, I was so
That's news
shocked.
to me.
I was so shocked. But she recorded me on, at that time it was cassette. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if the youngsters know what a cassette is. You
Yeah, well,
probably don't.
oh, I know what a cassette is. I know what an 8-track is too.
Okay, me too. And she recorded me. And at the end of my show that night, she said, I recorded you and I want to send this to Mr. Ed McMahon to
Oh,
get you on. And I said, he's not going to want me. And a week later, I got a
now
phone
you,
call from him that said, we want you to come out here and be on the show. That's how that happened.
wow, wow. So now, since we brought up Broadway, you've done all kinds of Broadway. Let's kind of go through here. You did a Broadway on Broadway, The Wiz.
Yes, on the role, the Broadway. I did both the Broadway and the
Mhm.
national company of the Wiz. And the national company, I didn't go to audition for that. I went with my girlfriend
Mhm.
to audition she was auditioning for Eveline.
Okay.
And she was one of my students. I was teaching her voice and she was
Mhm.
I gave her voice, she gave me acting. And
Okay.
when she got the audition, she said, I can't go. And I said, why? This was on Sunday. I was like, you better get your behind out of here and go. And she
Yeah.
said, I can only go if you go with me. well, you know better than that. They don't let you go. But I said, I'll go and I'll stand behind the curtain and nobody will know I'm here.
Yeah.
That exactly wasn't true because the doorman had just been to my show that Saturday night.
So it was meant for you to be in The Wiz.
Baby, when Mimi didn't, her name was Mimi Locadio. And when Mimi didn't get the role, he walked on stage and said to Linda Twine, who was at the piano in the pit, guess who I got? You'll never believe who I got back here. And I was looking around like, who's he talking about? Is somebody else in here other than me? I didn't even know he had seen me.
Wow.
And he said my name. And Linda went, what? Push her onto the stage.
Yeah.
I was like, push me onto the stage.
This was rehearsal?
No, this was at Mimi's audition.
Oh, this was at the audition.
I wasn't there to audition. I was there in support of her.
Okay.
But when he told Linda that I was there, Linda said, push her. And they, of course, I knew the song, the feeling we once had, because my girlfriend, Tasha Thomas, was Auntie M at that point, and she could sing the mess out of that and a whole bunch of anything else. Yeah. So Linda started playing and she said, sing it. And I started singing it. I got halfway through the song and Jeffrey Holder and Ken started walking up the aisle. And I thought, oh my God, they're going to make me leave. They hate me. And Jeffrey Holder walked on stage and said, my darling, I love you. And I want you to be in my show. And I said,
now that's the Uncola guy with the Sprite commercial.
Yeah.
To you.
Okay. Yeah. 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 And he said, I'm going to send you to Chicago. And I want you to play. And he sent me, and I said, yes. And I went there and I was Auntie M and Glenda, the Good Witch in the National Company.
Oh. Okay.
And then when I finished that run for about 2.5 years, and they took the show back to Broadway, they called me and said, we want you to play Auntie M with Stephanie Mills.
What was it like working in Broadway? I hear that it's grueling work to have to go out night after night after night and perform the same thing over and over. How was it for you? Was it grueling work? Was it tiresome?
No, it's delicious.
It's delicious. Oh,
it was delicious to me, and I want some more. I love it because first of all, the thing about that is that you've got a theater full of people, and they have come to see, and you're part of a show that has a message. The Wiz, the music that Charlie Smalls wrote for that play, all the music has a message.
Yes.
And if you're a giver and you can do that, you might touch somebody in that audience who wasn't feeling good about themselves.
Yes. Okay.
And if you singing "This Is a Brand New Day," they might get it and go, "Oh,
get inspired."
You know what? You're right. So every time it was time for me to go to work, I would get so happy, honey. I'd be there earlier than half hour was supposed to be.
You loved it, and you realized it was a mission for you, and it's inspiring to know that you inspiring others. So
yes, absolutely.
That's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely, because all I know how to do is give, and help somebody, and that play helped a lot of people, including me.
Yes, and still is. It is a legendary play, and The Wiz or Wizard of Oz. It's just something about it that touches people even today.
Yes, you're right.
Speaking of Stephanie Mills, you did a duet with her called His Name is Michael.
Yes.
Now the title, was that now the name in the title, was that referring to Michael Jackson? Because I hear that she and Michael Jackson dated.
They were close friends, and yes, it is about Michael Jackson.
Wow.
And I didn't know I was supposed to do that either. They had Whitney Houston over there for that. And Stephanie said, I want Peggy. Call Peggi Blu. And I
Yeah.
got a phone call that said, "Can you be at the studio in like half hour?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "To do what?" They said, "At what studio?" And they gave me the information, and I was like, "Yeah, baby, I'm
Yeah.
on my way."
Yeah. And you had to learn the song on the spot.
Yes, I did.
How did you do that?
It's what you do when that's what you do.
Yeah.
I'm an artist and I'm a singer and I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they gave me the lyric sheet, they gave me the lyrics, and I did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
That's
know,
what
they told me
professionals
where
do.
they wanted me to sing, and it was simple. It's
Wow.
not a problem
Yeah. Yeah.
when you're in touch with what you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Not a problem.
no,
So you went on to do several recordings with several artists, different artists as well. I
yeah,
mean, you have sung alongside Stevie Wonder, Barbra Streisand. What
yeah.
was it like to be on stage with Barbra Streisand?
Oh my God, that's another monumental moment
Yeah.
because I had done a CD for her with Quincy Jones, and that whole CD got nominated for. This was timeless, and Barbra Streisand is one of the people who I've respected
Yeah.
from a teenager because my mother used to listen to her and say, "Listen to how she says her words. Listen to how she was one of my mother's favorite singers.
Oh.
She and Sam Cooke and a whole bunch of other people.
Mhm.
And because my mother was also a vocal coach and a voice teacher, she would say, listen to how she says the word. And you see, that's how she tied those two words. I mean, she made me pay attention. And I fell in love with Barbra Streisand. And when it came time to go with her to Vegas and do, Lord have mercy, you should have seen me hiring the singers to go and teaching them the parts.
Wow.
It was fun.
That sounds like fun. That
She
sounds
gave me a fabulous top to say
mm,
thank you, which I still have, and I
really.
still wear it. Yeah,
Oh my God, that's beautiful. That's a
yeah,
beautiful thing. And you also was invited to the White House when Bill Clinton was in office. What was that
yeah.
like?
I was performing at a hotel here in New York, in Beverly Hills,
Hmm.
with an orchestra, and he happened to be there at this show,
Hmm.
and we were having a good time on stage, and you know, all of a sudden, when we finished singing one of the songs and we were going to go to break, he pointed and said, I want her at the White House because he had already won. They just had to go do the inauguration now.
Yes.
And I moved out of the way because I thought, oh, you must be talking about
What else?
somebody.
Oh
And
no.
he saw me move. And he said, no, I'm talking to you. And pointed at me. And I was like, me?
That must have been wild. Oh,
Girl, my knees almost buckled.
yeah.
And I was like, yes, Mr. President, I would love to.
Yeah.
And when I went, I invited my mother
Yes.
and she came with me. And there's a little clip. I've got to be able to get that one day of me singing something. You know, he plays sax.
Hmm.
And I would sing something and he would play it back to me. And it was just him and me in the front of the stage.
Yeah.
My mother kept saying, look at my baby. Look, y'all, look, that's my baby.
She was a proud mama.
He was.
Oh my
That was a
God.
wonderful moment for me.
Beautiful, beautiful moments. Beautiful moments. Tell me about your first CD, your first album that you put out.
My first solo album,
Your first solo album, yes.
yes, was in 1979. It was called I Got Love. And it was on MCA and
Hmm.
MCA Records. And
Hmm.
and Jerry Ragavoy was the producer.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, it was a delicious moment for me too, because the musicians, I mean, you can't get any better than the musicians that I had on that album. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't, it doesn't get it. But Dean Balin was one of the guitar players, and I mean, you know, you don't, and there were 2 songs that were written for Barry White that I had been asked to do the demo for him so he could hear it.
Yeah.
And when I did the demo, Jerry Ragavoy said to me that day in the office, pick up the phone. You know, back then you had 2 phones and you could just pick up the same and hear each other talk. Okay. Yeah. He said, pick up the phone. I'm gonna pick up the phone. And Barry White said, Jerry, what do you expect me to do after she sang that? There's no way I could sing that. And he said, make a record on her and put those 2 songs on that record.
Your album.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's what happened. And I mean, and one of them is When You Got a Good Groove Going, and I Can't Afford to Pay the Price is the other one. And Harold Wheeler, who did the horns and strings for the Wiz, Harold Wheeler did all the horns and strings and all that stuff on my record, on that record. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And Marcus Miller is the bass player. Wow. Oh yeah.
Wow. I mean, you had the best. You had the best.
Yes.
What was it like working with Quincy Jones?
Oh my God. For me, it was like heaven.
Was he easy to work with? Was he demanding or?
He's demanding.
Very,
He's demanding, but not in a derogatory sense. Right. No, he says exactly what he wants. Mm-hmm. And the timbre and the temperament is so that you know that he's serious. Mm-hmm. And the reason why you're on that gig is because you're serious. Mm-hmm. And so you do what he wants you to do.
Yes.
And that way you don't, if he does have a dark spot, you don't know it because you gave him what he wanted and he was happy about it. And that's what matters.
Right.
But that's he was, oh God, what I did with him was that Back on the Block album.
Yes.
And I also was the contractor for that session.
Mm-hmm. Contractor meaning, what is a contractor?
Calling the singers.
Oh, okay.
Supplying the singers, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Amazing. What is one of your favorite songs that you recorded?
Oh, one of my favorite songs is I Believe in You from my Blu Blowin. Mm-hmm. That was written by Nick Johnson and produced by Nick Johnson. It said, one day it occurred to me. The way to receive, I had to give a little. And that's just the opening lyric. I love that. And then from my first one is Memories. All my friends, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love all the music because I sat down and talked about, but those 2 touch me because of the lyric content.
Yes. You know, lyrics are everything, you know, that's one thing I used to teach my daughter, you know, listening to music on radio, you know, what are they saying? What are the lyrics that they are singing? Pay attention to that. You don't, you know, things that are toxic, you don't want to listen to, you know, per se, you know, it may have a good beat, but you don't want to, you know, take all that toxicity in.
No, because, you know, that is, and a lot of people don't understand, Dr. Cindy, that life and death are in the power of the tongue. And we must be very, very prideful. And that's not big-headedness. That's prideful that God made us who we are. And we must take issue with what comes out of our mouths and be very careful. Because what you speak, you draw.
Yes.
And if the lyrics are something that are not positive, don't sing it.
Yes.
because you draw darkness to you, and that's not what we are. We are light.
We are light. Amen to that. Amen to that. Because
Yes.
of the grace of God,
Yes.
He lives in us. We are light.
Yes, we're light.
We are.
And anything that doesn't shine or that I can't do that shines light, I don't want it. Don't send it to me. Give it to somebody else.
So now you are also a vocal coach. You was one of the first vocal coaches for Whitney Houston. Is that correct?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
in the studio.
And
I
for
was.
Irene, and for Irene Cara, correct?
Yes,
Oh,
I did Fame for Irene.
You did Fame?
I the movie Fame.
Oh yes,
And the
Fame.
soundtrack Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Irene got hired to be the lead singer for that song, and called me up and I said, "Come on over here and I'll teach you how." And she came to my apartment in New Jersey at that time. I lived at the Galaxy then.
Yeah.
In Guttenberg, New Jersey. And she and I sat on my living room floor, and I showed her what not to do and what to do. So everything you hear that came out of her mouth came out of mine first. Then I got hired to sing the background on that movie. So I'm the top singer. I'm the soprano in the background.
Wow, I love that movie. That movie was so inspiring to me. I think it came out in 1980 or something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1980.
Around there. Yeah.
Very inspiring to me. Very inspiring.
Yeah. So I've had a lot of. God has blessed me.
Yes.
And this is something that He uses me. He speaks through me to others. And that's all I know. And that's what I love. Yeah. I'm a giver. If I can't give, and even what comes out of my mouth in song, if my songs don't supply a gift and a message for somebody, then I've not done my job.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah. And I don't like that.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. You know, if more people were like that, we would have, I think, better music. You know, music, they make music for some of everybody. You know, everybody don't like the same things. You know, they have different genres. But so that's understandable. But you know, for me, I like positivity. I like uplifting lyrics about love and things that's positive.
I do too.
Yeah.
And I sing all genre. In my shows, you have girl, please, I got a rock album. I got all kind of music because I sing everything.
Yeah.
And because that's another thing that my mother said to me when I was just starting out as a little tiny thing. You want to be able to reach everybody. You don't want to just have one. You don't. Oh, I'm just a this.
Oh.
And I learned how.
Yeah.
And I take my rock songs, and you would think, but I do separate ways. And you would think that it's a gospel song, the way my arrangement is on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I do a whole bunch of stuff, but it's not, none of it is with a negative influence.
Yes. Yes. And that's important.
That is extremely important.
Extremely important. Now, when you were a vocal coach for the contestants on American Idol.
Yes.
And well, let's just say that you were the American Idol infamous vocal coach. So did the network deem you to be to be infamous for ratings, or was that your style?
They I don't think it was any of it. They just called me to do what I do and help the kids. And
Yeah.
I
definitely.
I did what I could do, and I had a couple of winners. A couple of my kids actually won.
Yeah.
And so I'm blessed to have had that opportunity.
Yes.
What
was that like working with the contestants on American Idol?
It had differences because some of them came and they didn't come to do the work. They didn't want to do the work. And I'm
You weren't
about
serious about the work.
yes, I am dead serious about the work.
Yes.
And if you're not, you find another teacher. Don't you come to me.
Yes.
Because I'll put you in timeout. You stand in the corner with no milk and cookies.
Yeah.
And I'm point blank. I don't
beat around the bush because
no,
you got somewhere to go. Yeah.
No, because you're there for a reason, and you want to win this. Yeah. And I'm the only vocal coach. Well, I was at that time had ever been on American Idol who had actually won a vocal contest. I'd won Star Search, and at that time there was no one else that had ever been there. Randy Jackson was on there. He knew me from Star Search.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
That was.
But he knew who I was, and I was like, oh, yeah. Gee.
Well,
But yeah, I would tell the kids, don't come and chew up the lyrics, speak. Yeah, my mother taught me that too. You have a tongue, teeth, and 2 lips. It takes all of those to form a word.
Yes. Okay.
And if there's a word in the song that says that, don't give me that.
Yeah.
Don't say that, say that. Put your tongue between your teeth and say the word.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then don't give me an attitude when I ask you, because I'm trying to help you win.
Yes.
Otherwise, go play Jack Rock somewhere.
Man, so what is the first thing you would teach a student, a vocal student that would come to you? What would be like one of the first things you would teach them?
What first thing I would teach them, one of the first things is breathing.
Oh, breathing.
Oh, definitely. Breathing, yeah. And you fill up that diaphragm. Mm-hmm. And we would work on that. Mm-hmm. And then speech in a lyric. And you get, it could just be it doesn't have to be a complete line. It could be 2 words. Mm-hmm. Like the vocal exercise. Made me. It doesn't have to go all the way to made me, my, mo, moo.
Oh, yeah.
But you get that deep breath, you fill that up, and hold the may, and then hold the me, let it go. And you breathe through your nose. Mm-hmm. That's where you take your breath. You don't go, like that, because it doesn't fill the diaphragm. It gives you nothing.
Without proper breathing, you have no vocals. You have no song, you have no words.
Well, the thing is that you may say the words, but you'll have to stop and cut off the word. Mm-hmm. And without breathing, you don't have the correct interpretation of a song. And the interpretation of a lyric is one of the most important. Like, don't sing me a song when all you do is riff, because I'm not interested
in all that riffing.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
Yeah. Yeah.
There should be a reason why you do an ad-lib or a riff.
That's a good.
That is to connect one part of the song to the next. You don't just, oh, what are you doing? And why?
I think some singers go overboard with that. It's just, to me,
they do.
It's overboard. It's just overkill.
Yeah. Makes me tired.
But you don't have to do that. Yeah.
No, you don't have to do that.
No, you
sing the lyric. And then when you get to that intersection, figure out whether you want to make a right turn or left turn, or whether you go here and bring it down. And when you bring it back down on key. Mm-hmm. And give me the melody, set the melody. Mm-hmm. That's the important part, set the melody. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, pick somebody else, not me.
Yeah, because you got to get it right,
Better.
I know. What was the difference between Star Search and American Idol? Are they pretty much the same, or what kind of?
I don't know about. On Star Search, we didn't have coaches.
Oh, okay.
On Star Search, you came in knowing what you wanted to do. You came to rehearsal. Mm-hmm. On American Idol, the kids don't know that they can. They don't know what to do. They don't know what not to do. So that was different. So when you see them come on stage in American Idol, it's because someone has told them sing this, sing that. And I mean, Star Search, I did my own arrangement and sent them. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You know, they didn't I did them myself. Sent them from my home and brought an extra tape, you know, when I flew out here, because I went back home each time. And I mean, it was only I named it the 4-minute mile because it was only 4 minutes, you know, in total.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 8 minutes.
8 minutes. 8 minutes.
8 minutes because it's 2 minutes per song. Yeah. And I did it 4 times. So, you know. But American Idol is quite different than Star Search. Quite different.
I'll say.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
I'm still in contact with a lot of the winners from Star Search. I'm still in contact with them.
They appreciate what you did for them.
Well, but they won too. A lot of the, you know, a lot of the people, like, you know, I mean, like Cat Adams and I still talk, and she was the first year winner. You know, she wasn't even on with me, but we still talk. And Cat Dyson, who was on the same year as me in the band, she was the guitar player at the church that I used to sing in the choir. Way after that. And we just talked the other day on computer. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you and I'm kind of switching a little bit here, switching gears. You and Luther Vandross were friends.
My God.
What kind of friend was Luther Vandross to you? What kind of
like my brother?
Oh, yeah.
Like my brother. I met him when he was about 14, 15 years old in New York, going into the Brill building that's during the time I was a sand pebble. Never My Love. We did that. You asked me if there'll come a time when I'll grow tired of you. And that's what we had done. And Teddy Van and he were friends. And he was coming to rehearsal with Teddy. And Teddy introduced us. And we were like this until the day he passed away. When we had the earthquake here, that big earthquake, and I called him because he used to play with my baby son who couldn't say Luther. He would go, "Hi, Mr. Wooja." And Luther would call me sometime and say, "Bring Christopher over here." He lived up on the mountain in Beverly Hills. And I would bring Chris, and Luther would open the door, and Christopher would lift his arms again. "Hi, Mr. Wooja." It was only maybe 8, 10 months old, a year old. And Luther would grab him and tell me, "Go find something to do because Christopher and I are going to play." But I called him when we had that earthquake to check on him. And I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm packing. I'm going home. I'm getting out of here." He said, "You back to New York."
He was gone, huh?
Yeah, he said, "Are you coming with me?" Oh God.
Oh my goodness.
So awesome.
Oh,
so awesome.
Wow, I bet. He seems like he was just so bubbly and full of life.
Yes, he was sensitive, and he was, I mean, there are no words except to say genuine. That's who he was.
Where were you when you heard about his passing?
Oh God, that took me out. That destroyed me. I couldn't. There's still times that I can't wrap, and it's been a long time. Still time when I hear him on the radio, and I hear him a lot, and I hear Whitney a lot. It touches me deeply. Because see, Whitney Houston's grandmother, I used to be, her grandmother had a gospel group named the Drinkard Singers, which I was the keyboard player for.
Really?
Yeah. I know the whole family. I know the entire family for
Oh,
years.
oh, I see.
Okay. Yeah. But so when I hear her, and then I hear Luther, and then I hear Prince, who wanted to record me and only wanted me and not the other person that I was trying to bring with me, stupidly, I passed on it.
Oh, I see.
And when I hear them, it reminds me of things and of moments that we shared together, you
Yeah.
know, and it's horrifying. They're gone too soon.
Gone. Yeah. Yeah.
Way too soon.
Way too soon.
God, Whitney could sing, and Luther, oh my God, he could sing. That voice was like satin and silk.
You said it. You said it. Yes.
Yeah.
They are sorely missed.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes. Wow. This
Craziness.
this is just so amazing to have you sitting here talking with the legendary Miss Peggi Blu. And I tell you, it's like sitting here talking to an old friend.
I feel the same way, and I hope I'm not over speaking and talking too long.
Of course not. No, my dear.
It's just so much.
It's so much. It's so
that
much
I've experienced, and I'm so grateful. God has been so good to me.
So what is one of your greatest accomplishments in life, musically or personally? What is one or two of your greatest accomplishments?
My first one is making my mother proud.
Yeah.
The next one is having my children.
Yes.
Because my offspring, they're all talented and they're super people, and they know mommy loves them and mommy knows they love her. And my next would be Star Search, winning Star Search.
Oh.
Because that was huge.
Yeah.
Back then, child, please, that was huge.
Oh, yeah. You kidding?
And then,
I remember seeing that episode. I remember seeing you on Star Search in '86. I used to watch that religiously. Never thought I'd be talking to you.
I mean, that was an amazing time for me. And I mean, but there've been so many, because I also was on Motown Returns to the Apollo with everybody who was.
I was going to ask you about that.
That was amazing. And I'm one of them that's right in the front row. So you look at that picture, you can't miss me. You know, I've had so many amazing moments. You know, I don't know. I sang with Sylvester. He was a friend of mine, him and Martha, and we're still friends, Martha and I miss Izora. Those were moments that are unforgettable.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Being at Aretha Franklin's wedding and hearing her father, when she married Glenn Turman, and C.L. Franklin couldn't say his last name and said, "Do you, Glenn Trumbull?" And then he turned to her brother and said, "What's his name?" Oh God, that was a moment that is unforgettable. Being on tour and on stage with Bob Dylan and being on his record and having him come to my house and I'm cooking for him. He's my friend.
Yes.
You know, my life has so many delicious moments like that it's.
Yeah. You know, those are delicious moments. And, you know, I call them God winks, you know.
Yes.
Oh, so beautiful.
I agree.
What's next for you? If you could do anything right now, what would you be doing? Would it be Broadway? Would it be in the studio?
Yes. And I did another, as a matter of fact, I'm working on my next studio album. A single right now. But we can't, because the pandemic has shut down all the studios. So I can't even teach it right now anymore, because the studio that I was teaching is shut down. And even if they reopened right now, I wouldn't take my students, you know, back there to do that. But what I want to do, somebody said, you know, you should put together your own TV show. And I was like, okay, fine, hook it up.
Yeah. That's right. Hook it up then, you know.
Look at her. I got major guests that I can call that'll come, but you have to pay them. You know, and so, but you know, I'm because I can do so many things. I'm willing to do whatever works,
Yes.
and especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to adjust to whatever I need to adjust to make it work this day and age, as long as it's not something that's dirty.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell you, Miss Peggy Blu, it has been such a pleasure sitting here, chatting it up with you and getting to know you and sharing your life with me and your fans, my fans. I thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm honored that you asked me. I'm so happy that I did this. You made my day. You not only did you make my day, girl, you made my month.
Oh, thank you so much for that.
And we have to keep believing and knowing that God's going to bring us out of this. Maya Angelou said, and still I rise. I say, and still we rise, because we are a unit.
Yes. Yes, we
And
are.
together we can make a change.
We can. I believe
Yes.
that. I believe that.
Together we can make a change. And so we send each other the prayer light, keep each other in positive prayer, knowing that God's going to bring us out of this no harm.
With the victory. Amen.
Yes.
Well, Happy New Year to you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you. And we'll chat soon.
Please,
Yeah.
anytime you want me back, I'm here. I'm ready.
You are welcome. You are certainly welcome. You can bring a couple of friends with you and we'll just have a Zoom party.
Fantastic.
All right, then. God bless you. Thank
God bless
you.
you too, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Stay
Thank
safe.
you. Thank you. God bless
Bye,
you. And until next time, you've been watching the Cindy Davis Show. God bless you.